Hey there, have you ever heard of a story so wild, so unbelievable that you had to double check it wasn't some Hollywood movie plot? Well, grab your popcorn because we're diving into a tale that combines espionage, drug smuggling, and government conspiracies. Yeah, it's that crazy. The night that started it all. Picture this, it's 1987, shortly after midnight in a small town called Alexander, Arkansas. Two teenage boys, Don Henry and Kevin Ives, head out for some late-night hunting. They're armed with a flashlight and a .22 caliber rifle, just like any other adventurous teen. But tragically, they never made it back home. Their bodies were found beaten, murdered, and then placed on railroad tracks to be mangled by an oncoming freight train. It's like something straight out of a crime thriller, right? This brutal and mysterious incident blew the lid off a massive cover-up. Local prosecutors were involved, and it led researchers into a deep rabbit hole involving international drug smuggling, the Medellín cartel, 3 U.S. presidents, and, you guessed it, the CIA. Meet Barry Seal, the maverick pilot. Our story's main character is Barry Seal, a Louisiana resident and professional pilot. Barry was a prodigy, getting his pilot license at just 16. His piloting skills were so exceptional that his mentor called him a first cousin to a bird. After high school, Barry started flying for the U.S. military, becoming a member of the 82nd Airborne and Green Beret. In 1972, Barry was arrested in a sting operation involving over 13,000 pounds of explosives. The case against him was thrown out, allegedly due to government misconduct. According to Barry and his family, between receiving his pilot license in 1955 and his arrest in 72, he had been working as a CIA contract pilot. He was allegedly involved in the Bay of Pigs invasion, covert operations in Asia, and even piloting a getaway plane out of Dallas on the day John F. Kennedy was assassinated. From crop duster to cocaine smuggler, fast forward to 1977. Gary Bettner, a crop duster from Hazen, Arkansas, was driving to get ice cream with his family when his car broke down on a bridge. Suddenly, he ended his life by jumping off the side. Weird, right? Things got even stranger when, 2 years later, the Sandinistas, a left-wing guerrilla group backed by communist nations, overthrew the CIA-backed regime in Nicaragua. Ronald Reagan announced his presidential campaign, promising to assist anti-communist movements worldwide. Around the same time, Barry Seal's airplane was searched by a local narcotics unit in collaboration with the DEA. They expected to find 100 kilos of cocaine, but only found an AR-10 rifle. This led to Barry's arrest. After spending 7 months in prison, Barry claimed he had to bribe his way out. On his flight back home, he sat next to international drug smuggler Roger Reeves, who introduced him to Pablo Escobar and the Medellín cartel. The cocaine gold rush. The early 1980s saw cocaine becoming the social drug of the elite, thanks to movies like Scarface making it look cool. Barry started flying cocaine into Louisiana, making $1.5 million every trip. He parachuted the cocaine into remote areas of the Louisiana swamp, where a helicopter ground team picked it up. Barry eventually moved his operations to the Mena Airport in Arkansas, which offered more security away from law enforcement in Louisiana. He operated with a fleet of 19 aircraft and 2 ocean-going vessels equipped with helipads. Barry made frequent references to having lunch and dinner with Arkansas Governor Bill Clinton, which added another layer of intrigue to his story. Barry Seal's downfall and the Iran-Contra affair. Despite his success, Barry's luck ran out. The FBI and DEA had been monitoring him since the late 70s. They wiretapped his payphones and gathered extensive evidence of his drug smuggling. IRS agent William Duncan and Arkansas State Police investigator Russell Welch tried to indict Barry but were stonewalled by U.S. Attorney Asa Hutchinson. Welch believed Barry was smuggling weapons to Nicaragua and being rewarded by flying back with cocaine. In 1982, Congress passed the Boland Amendment to stop Reagan and the CIA from supporting the Nicaraguan Contras, who were right-wing rebels fighting the socialist Sandinista government. Despite this, Barry continued his operations. He eventually became an informant for the DEA, capturing photos of Pablo Escobar and others loading cocaine onto his aircraft in Nicaragua. The dark side of the CIA, Barry's cooperation didn't save him. In 1986, he was killed by 2 men with a MAC-10 submachine gun in Baton Rouge. Theories about his murder involve both the cartel and the CIA, with some alleging that Vice President George H.W. Bush's phone number was found in Barry's trunk. This was never confirmed, as the FBI quickly confiscated everything. Barry's murder didn't stop the operations. The Iran-Contra affair revealed that the U.S. was secretly selling arms to Iran and using the proceeds to fund the Contras, circumventing the Boland Amendment. This scandal exposed the CIA's deep involvement in drug trafficking to fund covert operations. The Gary Webb saga years later, journalist Gary Webb investigated the CIA's involvement in the crack epidemic in inner cities. His Dark Alliance series exposed how the CIA-backed Contras were smuggling cocaine into the U.S., leading to the crack epidemic. Webb faced severe backlash, with major newspapers discrediting his work. Despite this, Webb's investigation confirmed the CIA's complicity in drug trafficking. Reflections on a Scandal. This story isn't just about drug smuggling and government conspiracies. It's a stark reminder of how power and corruption can intertwine, leading to devastating consequences for ordinary people. The crack epidemic destroyed countless lives, and the government's involvement in drug trafficking only exacerbated the crisis. What can we learn? So, what's the takeaway from this wild ride? It's a call to stay informed and question the narratives presented to us. The story of Barry Seal, the Iran-Contra affair, and Gary Webb's investigation show that sometimes the truth is stranger than fiction. Stay curious, stay critical, and remember that every story has layers. Until next time, keep questioning and seeking the truth. Hey, if you found this story as mind-blowing as I did, share it with your friends. Let's keep the conversation going and make sure these stories aren't forgotten. And if you have any wild stories or theories, drop them in the comments below. Let's dive into the rabbit hole together.